Hello, my name is Peter Turnson, and I am here to explain that I am completely against the use of technologies in the classroom. I believe they are a waste of time and they are completely against learning. We have no value for them in the classroom environment, so we should completely eradicate them from the class. Hello, my name is Sergio Truque Pérez, and I am here to defend the use of technological resources in the classroom environment. I am going to do so through an activity we can design for the classroom with AI and technological resources and tools. Let's start by establishing our initial details. We're going to be working with students from ages 10 to 11 in the 5th of primary education course. Now, let's walk through our curriculum goals. In regards to the student profile, we're going to be working with students that possess both computers and internet access and have an intermediate level at their use. They have a good level in English as well as cooperative work with students in their group. To develop the classroom activity, we began asking artificial intelligence some suggestions. In this case, we used ChatGPT. We gave it the curriculum goals, the student profile, and the student's age gap, and it gave us the following ideas. Once we got ChatGPT's answers, this would serve as the base to establish our own classroom activity. In regards to the objectives, we will want the understanding and the explanation of the concept of changes in the state of matter, the development of storytelling skills through different digital media, the enhancement of collaborative and problem-solving skills through group work, and the incorporation of technological tools into the work. In regards to the duration, it would take up around 4 to 5 classroom sessions of around 45 minutes each. Now, what materials would the students need? Well, these materials would include computers with internet access, since the Scratch programming software is accessed through Google, not a program installed. Then tablets or smartphones to install applications for stop-motion aspects, such as stop-motion studios, but there are many others. In regards to the comic creation aspect, since we are doing a stop-motion video with comic aspects, we can use video editing programs such as InShot, although if it is done through photos, we can use apps such as Canva or Pixten. Students would also need art supplies to carry out the physical representation of the stop motion, such as papers, markers, clay, plastilin, etc. Throughout the next 2 sessions, the creation process will begin. Students will prepare their stop motion figurines and take the pictures using the Stop Motion Studios app, for example, and they will prepare the video. Once this video is complete, they will introduce the comic bubbles and prepare the information gathering and originality and creative process. After this part, this video will serve as the explanation of the concept of the changes in state of matter. Through this video, they will create their game in Scratch, which will test students to visualize if they have understood the video or not. In the 4th session, students will discuss their work with the teacher to receive any feedback that's necessary. While receiving this feedback, they will introduce the changes necessary to their work for the final session. This is the 5th session, where the groups will present and discuss the topic. Each group will come up in front of the class, present their video explaining the concept of the changes in state of matter, and all of the classroom students would play their game to see if they have understood correctly the information that is displayed throughout their video. Once all of the groups are finished, we will do a classroom discussion about what we have learned about the changes in the state of matter and seeing if these digital resources were useful in the learning process and entertaining. Optionally, these projects would be shared with the school for any other classrooms that may need this information and entertaining and fun way of learning. Now you might be wondering how the final task would resolve. We can view a very simple example in a video of stop-motion/comic explaining the process of the changes in state of matter, and we can visualize one of these Scratch games from the inside and see how we can control in a very simple and easy, intuitive way the game itself. These were very simple examples, but I hope they transmit clearly the idea of how the process would work, using different technologies, incorporating the task, letting learners express their creativity and understand the changes in the state of matter throughout the process. Also helping students in the future learn by watching their video and playing their different games to understand it clearly in a very entertaining and fun way. But these type of tasks don't have any added value. They just waste students' time that you can be using to lecture them on how the changes of matter really work. Actually, these type of activities provide great amount of value. Digital resources greatly enhance student engagement. This is due to the fact that they are now accustomed using technologies in their day-to-day life, and incorporating them into classroom activities will greatly improve their participation. Not to mention the fact that digital resources provide great amounts of information at students' fingertips, also promoting their originality and creativity through new and different tasks and projects. It also improves collaboration and cooperation in groups. Students also acquire different sets of skills and abilities that will be of great use for them in their future. And how do you expect to evaluate and assess this type of work from students incorporating digital technologies? There are many ways in which we can evaluate and assess students' work. One of them, for example, being a rubric, like the following. This rubric evaluates aspects such as originality, creativity and design, information, content and competencies, grammar and spelling, collaboration and cooperation, and tool comprehension and usage. Each aspect of this rubric is evaluated according to excellent, which is 2 points, good, which is 1 point, and needs to improve, which is 0 points. Each aspect has a brief description about how the task should be developed by the students to evaluate according to these 3 aspects. In order to ensure that the digital resources and technological tools we are going to be using with our students are positive for the development, we are going to assess and evaluate them according to different criteria. In this case, I follow the e-learning rubric to evaluate the different tools that are used throughout this classroom activity. It shows the following. For the most part, these tools are of great use throughout the classroom activity. However, they can improve in certain areas, such as the improvement in the communication methods inside of the application for the users and the integration into an LMS system so we can incorporate them into the classroom directly without having to use aspects such as hyperlinks or others. Now, let's discuss the ACAD framework to articulate the learning design of our project. In regards to the pedagogical aspect of the ACAD framework, we include learning through significant experiences, learning through exercise and practice, and finally, learning through programmed instruction. Now, in the social interaction part of the ACAD framework, we have both groups and teams. In regards to the spaces and resources area of the framework, we include reunion rooms cabaret style, the classroom, exhibition spaces, collaborative study, tablets, laptops, digital immersiveness, and telephones. And finally, the knowledge tasks of the ACAD framework include brainstorming, storytelling/narration, medium based on sound, composition/creation, medium based on images, simulation, demonstration, exhibition, panels for questions and answers, obligatory writing, and, of course, games. Wow, I have to admit, you really convinced me that technologies and digital resources can be included into our classroom in a positive, meaningful, and effective way, and can help greatly our students develop skills and abilities that will be of great use for them throughout their whole life. That was impressive. For this question, I will be talking about my PLE, which I have divided into 5 elements: the Dish Compedu, the Merge Cube, Stop Motion, the ACAD, and Gamification. The Dish Compedu, the European Framework for the Digital Competence of Educators. Its aim is the development and improvement of educators' digital competencies to seize the potential of digital technologies and enhance and innovate education. I believe that this Compedu includes extremely valuable information of great use for all educators. It empowers teachers to understand and make use of new technologies and promote these on students. The Merge Cube is a virtual reality tool which involves a physical object that students can manipulate and apps for your phone to view 3D representations. I believe the Merge Cube is a very useful tool since it allows students to view detailed and educational representations that support their learning. It also allows students to interact with virtual reality by manipulating the Merge Cube to view different perspectives of the 3D model. Stop motion is an animation method where physical objects' movement is captured frame by frame. Once edited and sped up, it shows smoother movement. I believe stop motion could be very interesting for a classroom activity. It teaches students how to use different apps and programs to carry out this process. But not just that, it empowers and encourages them to be creative, to be original, and it aids them by manipulating physical matter, which really empowers learning. The ACAD, or Activity-Centered Analysis and Design, is a practical approach to analyze complex learning situations and generate reusable knowledge for subsequent design work. The ACAD toolkit's aim is to improve the capacity for analysis and design of technology-enhanced learning situations. I believe the ACAD toolkit is a very valuable tool, especially for preparing the classroom activity, since its different aspects can help organize our preparation. And finally, gamification, which is the incorporation of games into non-game related environments, the objective being the engagement of students to learn actively, participate, get involved, etc. I believe gamification is an excellent process to get students involved in the learning process in a fun and interesting way. For the second question, I'll be discussing the Dish Compedu, in particular the following areas: professional engagement, empowering learners, and finally facilitating learners' digital competence. This area refers to the educator's digital competence. It states it's not only referred to the ability to use digital technologies to enhance teaching, but also to carry out improved interactions with colleagues, parents, teachers, etc. Its aim is the professional development of educators, as well as the collective good and the innovation of organization in the teaching profession. I believe one aspect that we have discussed in class that greatly relates to this area would be the personal learning environment. In my opinion, this environment can grow and mature as we as persons and as teachers learn and incorporate new knowledge and tools into our own environment. Empowering learners. This area refers to the potential we as educators possess to encourage a learner-centered pedagogic strategy and promote their active involvement in the learning process. By using technological tools, we can achieve this objective. Not just that, they can help achieve a more supportive and personalized education to aid those students facing differences. One aspect that we have dealt in class that relates directly to this area could be gamification. I believe this is a great way to encourage students to participate through a more active and entertaining way of learning. We as teachers can also find games that are adapted to students with disability, this way empowering them and encouraging them to participate. And finally, the facilitating learners' digital competence. This area is a crucial part in educators' digital competence. We as teachers must promote assignments that require students to use digital resources to gather, process, and analyze their information, comparing it in a critical manner, use them to communicate and cooperate in an effective and responsible manner, learn to create digital content in an expressive manner while ensuring the use of references, etc. We as teachers provide tools for our students to develop their work. We develop tasks that encourage them to use technological tools, and we can provide them with new ones to show them different ways of learning through digital means, such as the Merge Cube, which we have used several times in class and which is the reason why I associate this sort of task with this area. In regards to the grade, I believe I've earned around an 8, maybe a 9. This is mostly due to the fact that I've worked very hard on all of the tasks we've had throughout the entirety of the course, and I've tried to help all of my partners as much as I can. However, I do recognize that there is room for improvement and I can continue to do better. Personally, I believe one of the hardest roles to carry out was the analyst. Giving your partners a grade was actually much harder than I initially thought, and I didn't like having to give someone a low grade. However, if I had to give someone a negative mark, I would do it as objectively and justly as I could. In regards to AI, I did use some artificial intelligence tools throughout these tasks, mostly to gather information on the topic and develop a bit the task. I did try not to simply copy and paste the information, but to use it as the base and work on it from there to develop and improve it. In regards to education with AI, after developing this task and trying to talk with AI to improve it, I did realize that at some point it would simply spit out the same information again and again. It didn't have that human factor that we as teachers can include. Teaching requires empathy, human emotion, something that an AI cannot simply produce by itself.